All right, guys, and welcome back to Alliance 115. I'm Elise Randolph, joined by moderator, and we've got a match between Hydra Reloaded and Templis CALSF for you. Really important match. Hydra Reloaded have taken basically 7 battle cruisers, and Templis have taken. Actually, moderator, tell me what Templis has taken. We have action going on right now.
Yeah, Templis CALSF took a rattlesnake, a pair of healers, a scimitar, 2 ferox for links, a stork as well for links, a caracal, and a pair of bombers. But before we can even get the introductions off the field, Hydra's already deleted the 2 pair of manticores that Templis has brought to bear.
Yeah, absolutely. This is absolutely crazy. Hydra are going for the Logi trade right now. They just want to clear out those bombers, knowing how much damage those bombers could potentially do to the battlecruiser hulls. And you can see them right now with 7 battlecruiser hulls. They're going against that scimitar piloted by Safoy. But you know what? He's really far in the back there, and still ASB boosting away.
Yeah, Safoy's been using most of his ancillary shield booster charges, but he's been able to pull range, and the Harbinger of Lord Anubis is down into hull, not getting quite the same strength of reps from the Augur that he would have gotten from, say, an Oneros or a Guardian, given that both of those were banned by Templis CALSF before the match began.
Yeah, really straightforward bans from Templis, knowing kind of what the meta is. And they're one of the few teams taking a shields setup this first day. And you got to figure when you're coming up against Hydra, you're probably taking one of your strongest setups right now. As we see Hydra focusing down Aura Rackwell's Ferox, and he's getting into pretty low shields. It's interesting that they moved off of the Scimitar. What do you think was the impetus behind that decision?
It looked like Safoy and the Scimitar was pulling enough range such that even with long-range ammo, they weren't able to break it from the Hydra side. And speaking of things breaking, Nemedril has dropped from Hydra, so that's their logistics off the field, while Templis CALSF is still sitting pretty and able to apply reps to that Ferox, while Safoy is now using more SG charges.
I completely missed the Augur by Nemedril dropping. That is a huge moment. They really have to get the Scimitar of Safoy down. It looks like that's what they're deciding to do. This setup by Hydra with all these battlecruiser hulls, it really needs to win that Logi trade. They finally get Safoy's Scimitar down, but they've traded their own logistics and 2 Harbingers for it.
Yeah, Hydra has now got a total of 5 battlecruisers, 3 being faction, but they're going against a rattlesnake, 2 healers, and 2 ferox. It's roughly even on damage, but Templis is up a lot of points, and they haven't lost a lot of their damage cores. Sure, Hydra has the Vigil, and they have the Daredevil, but they don't have any sort of logic to support them, and Blue Melon is going to be their next primary. Crucially, Templis still has all their links. Hydra's been losing theirs.
Yeah, absolutely. We see Blue Melon actually dropping really low here. This is not a structure tank Navy Brutix at all. He is in low armor right now, trying to pull a little bit of range. Meanwhile, they're just barely finishing off Super Chair. All right, Super Chair is down for Templis. You know, we gotta say, although the last Spartan and his team haven't played in many Alliance tournaments before, certainly don't have the same name as Hydra. They've been doing incredibly good work in the EVNT Championship Series, and they were incredibly dominant in the feeder rounds for the Alliance tournament.
Yeah, Blue Melon is about to drop. Also, Templis CALSF came in second in the Anger Games. The Vigil of Isahi dropping as well. That's going to be the target painters, allowing Hydra to apply better damage, not being on the field right now. And I'm worried for Hydra. Going down in the first match was something I don't think anyone would have possibly predicted, but the Brutix for Apatho Balthazar is completely melted.
My goodness, there's so much applied damage from the Templis team. They are definitely in the driver's seat right now. They look like they're going to win this whole thing and just be the biggest upset in Alliance tournament history that I can remember in the last at least 2 or 3 years. Getting Hydra a first round defeat, blooding their nose, that is absolutely ridiculous for a team as composed, as storied as Hydra Reloaded. I mean, you look at the pilots on the Hydra side, and it's just a who's who of fantastic individual skilled pilots.
Right now, Hydra's just chasing this heel of Dale around the arena, Dale running towards one of the micro jump drive beacons, but this is the key success point of these drone comps. They can be anywhere in the arena with the drone lake augmenters. Hydra is going to have to be firing their most long-range ammo, and Templis is just getting much better trades as hard SP drops. Hydra down to just 2 cores left, just now getting the Gila into low hull. I don't think there's a way for Hydra to come back into this, Elise.
No, absolutely not. I think they're just completely tilted right now. They had a really good start at the beginning with the Manticores. It looked to be all up in there, it seemed to be right in their wheelhouse. But that scimitar by Safoy on the Templis team just, got just enough range, made Hydra maybe question their decision making a little bit, and Last Spartan and the rest of his team managed to just make great trades. I mean, getting that Augur of Hydra down as quick as they did is ridiculous. Those Helidrones, snake damage, just pounding into the Hydra Augur. It didn't last all of 10 seconds. I blinked and it was gone.
Yeah, absolutely. You blinked and you missed it. I'm not sure if the repair drones were even able to get on top of him. It takes time to send those medium repair bots across the arena, and they might not have gotten on top of Nem before he dropped. One of the downsides to using the composition that they have, Brutix of Casper heating away at maximum speed, but he's in low hull, desperately trying to get a kill against Burt, but I don't think it matters at this point. It's just 2 Brutixes left, now 1 Brutix, and Templis CALSF has the Rattlesnake alive that can solo the remaining ships on this team.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, if Hydra were able to get the Helas and the Feroxes down, they did spend a long time on a Ferox without getting it all the way down before switching back to the Scimitar. Even if they did, they still had to deal with Last Spartan and his Rattlesnake, a beefy ship, and the Hydra pilots certainly know what it's like to stare down the barrels of a Rattlesnake. They've done it in many Alliance tournaments before, and it's just such a brutal, devastating ship with its tank.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Hydra banning off a Blackbird, one of the ships that would have been really quite crucial for them to bring. If they were able to jam off any of the Gila or the Rattlesnake drones, that would have done them a great service, but it wasn't an option for them, having banned it themselves, and the Brutix of Nick Domar dropping means that Templis CALSF has secured the greatest upset of Alliance tournament history, going up 100 to 45 over Hydra.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. Good job, Tempus CALSF. I mean, they're really showing that they are a team to be respected and just dominating Hydra in the way they did. You can pick apart a few piloting mistakes and decision-making mistakes that Hydra may have made, but this is squarely in Templis flying their team very, very well. This comp that they brought is not something that we've seen a lot of during all day today. But you know what? They probably took one of their strongest teams, and you definitely have to when you're facing Hydra. So props to Templis, keeping composure, great decision making, and fantastic piloting.
Yeah, and with that, we'll send it to the studio.